All right, guys, make a quick crypto video here. Kind of my afterthoughts on this big dookie dump we had over the last couple days. Apparently, they're saying it's one of the biggest crypto flash crashes in history. I feel like that's just because there's more money in cryptocurrency right now. It really, to me, didn't feel any worse than some of these flash crashes we had back in like 2018, 2019. COVID dump. I mean, that was like the scariest thing I ever lived through. On top of the crypto markets dumping, we had COVID coming, and I pretty much thought it was the end of the world. And I always tell the story how I sold a lot of my coins during the dump, and then I bought right back in like the next day. And if I didn't do that, it would have cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars, which I kind of learned my lesson at the time, not to sell on flash crashes no matter what. I don't care if the world is being invaded by aliens. Just do not sell on a flash crash. It's the worst thing you can do. And the flash crash we had a couple days ago, that's why I made a video. I hadn't made a live stream in a while, and I really haven't been making all that many videos. And I said the worst thing you can do is sell during these flash crashes. We always recover. Well, the interesting thing is so we basically had this big dump where Cardano went down to like 40 cents or 30 cents. Bitcoin went down to 102. Every coin, the Ethereum went down to like 3,200, like everything dumped big, like 60, 70, 80%. And then we bounced back instantaneously. Now, the big question was, yeah, you dump hard, you're going to have a little rebound back, which we had. Cardano went up to like 66, 67 cents from 40. Then it went back down to 62 cents where we were yesterday. We rebounded and then we were coming back down. And the big question on everybody's mind was, what does that mean? Does that mean we had the dump, we had the little rebound, and now we're going to go back into a bearish trend? We're going to dump further? That was certainly a possibility. Good news today, it's looking like we're coming back from that little rebound, and we're coming back relatively strong. We got Bitcoin now at $114,000, pushing 115. Ethereum is back over $4,000. Actually, we're at 4,100 for Ethereum. XRP back at 2.5 cents, or excuse me, $2.5, and I saw that Cardano pushing back up to 70 cents for Cardano. So anybody who bought during this dump, minimally, you should be able to trade and get out right now and make a ton of money. So even if you think we're going into a bear market and you think it's over, my advice was correct, and everybody else's who gave you good advice, like you should have bought during that dump because you can sell right now and make 20, 30, 40% on your money, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So, I don't know what's going to happen long term, but, I personally think everything is right on track. We're going into a bull market. We're going to have a bullish November. It's going to take us probably to the end of the month to really rebound out of this for a lot of these coins to come back. But the fact that Bitcoin's pushing 114, pushing 115 again is extremely bullish. Doesn't mean we're not going to go back down, but I just think if we're really going into a bear market right now, I just don't think we would be recovering right now. It's just, why would we? People would just be out of these markets and done with it. Now, I don't know if Trump came out, maybe he tweeted something. We'll check on that in a minute. Maybe Trump tweeted something that, they're making a deal with China. I don't see anything here on CNBC, but here we go. Well, this is the only thing I see. China, not afraid of a trade war, accuses U.S. of double standard for rare earths retaliation. So this is new, and you would think that would kind of be bearish. People are upset that now China's going to fight back, or they say they're going to fight back. But as you can see, Bitcoin is basically just pumping. So there was something weird about that dump we had basically off a trade war. It didn't make any sense. I almost feel like it was manipulated. I saw a story that there was a trader that came out who worked for the White House who did like some multi-million-dollar short. This stuff's all manipulated. It's all a big scam. You just gotta understand, when you're in the crypto market, you're in the wild, wild west. This was a manipulated, coordinated dump. Coins like BNB didn't even dump. They dumped 2 or 3%. I mean, they like hardly anything for BNB. There's something fishy going on when we get a flash crash a lot of the times, and it's usually manipulated, just like this was manipulated. Anyway, so you're getting your coins coming back. All your altcoins are coming back. Yeah, Yeah, everything's coming back looking good. Let me see if there's any news I'm missing here. I saw, going against leverage. One reason we never promote leverage on this channel, and I did a little bit of leverage early on. It was never fun, and like a couple $100 or whatever. But I knew it's a loser game. 99% of everybody on leverage loses money. Apparently, a lot of people were like committing suicide. Here's one guy. I've thought about taking my own life multiple times since the dump, but I was saved because my mom called me up and I answered the phone and she talked me out of it, blah, 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 blah. And then there's some other one I saw. Over 2,000 crypto traders ended their lives yesterday after the market crash. And these are all people on leverage. Like if you're on spot, you might get upset, but you're not wiped out of the market. This goes into say, like, that's why like these exchanges and all these YouTubers who promote leverage to you, it's just pure evil. I don't care who almost all these big YouTubers are promoting leverage trading, and they're making so much money. You have to understand, a lot of these YouTubers who promote leverage, they got kickbacks. They got kickbacks during this dump because a lot of people got liquidated. It's well known that when you get somebody liquidated, you get a kickback. So think about Crypto Banter, Benjamin Cohen, all your favorite YouTubers, they all got kickbacks during this dump. This dump actually they profited off of because you got liquidated and your best friend committed suicide. That's why, I would never be involved in anything like that. It's just pure evil, and it's a losing game. It's a losing game. But if you're in spot crypto, you're coming back right now like none of this ever happened. All right, guys. Even guys like Alex Becker, and just kind of talking about, this is your typical time to buy crypto, and everybody's pretty much fearful. Listen to a little bit of what he has to say.
All right, so we're going to go and find the FTX crash, which I'm assuming is about right here. Okay? You ever been like hit with a grenade in Call of Duty and you just hear like the beeping sound and like there's body parts thrown all around? It's Saving Private Ryan moment. This is what this moment was like right here. Now, let me describe this top to you very quickly. At this top right here, again, I told you, if you even hinted at the market being topped out at here or right here, people like made videos mocking you. And so at an actual peak, you're going to see so much euphoria that it's going to be the opposite of what you're seeing right now. So if I post a bullish take on X right now, like 50% of my comments are just people freaking the fuck out. Okay? If I post a bearish take around the actual top, you're going to see 50% of my comments are people just like ripping me apart. There's going to be actual threads, like books written on how stupid Alex Becker is if I say anything bearish around these tops right here. That's what was happening last one. I called the Cardano top perfectly. There was pages, people writing books about how much I suck and how stupid I am. And then everybody lost everything in Cardano.
I agree 100%. I was doing the same thing during Cardano. When Cardano hit $3, I was telling everybody it was a top. But that's how a top looks, guys. Everybody's bullish. Your cab driver's talking about it. Your Uber driver, your plumber, your doctor. Everybody's talking about crypto. Everybody online's bullish, saying we're going to 200,000, saying Cardano's going to $10. For us to have hit a top where altcoins are pretty much just chilling out. People are just waiting in the winds. Like nobody's even bullish. Retail hasn't even come in yet. Nobody cares about crypto. A lot of these altcoins haven't done all that much, and that's going to be the top where we get a flash crash and we go into a bear market. It just wouldn't make any sense. It just like just on a psychological level, like it wouldn't have made any sense. That's not bear market material, which is one reason I'm just very confident that we have a lot more room to go. Now, like I said, with me, the only question is, are we going to get a $5 Cardano, or are we only going to get a $1.50 or $2 Cardano? Like that's my major concern in my mind. It's not like is the bull market over? That's really, obviously I thought about it during this dump, and it was definitely something I had to think about. But it wasn't like something I was really concerned about. My bigger concern is like, what am I going to do, when I have to sell, and when am I going to sell, and blah, 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 blah. But like I said, this being a dump doesn't make any sense, but you are seeing a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of YouTube videos where people are bearish now, and I do think that's a good sign, because the more people bearish you get, the easier it is for us to come out of this dump and go bullish. But you can't ignore, I'm going to say it again, we had the dump, we rebounded a little bit. Now that always happens. You always get a dump. If you get a flash crash, you're going to get a springboard back. It's kind of like a rubber band. You get the springboard back and everybody's like, okay, we're coming back. But are you coming back? Then we had a little bit of a pullback yesterday, and people are like, oh shit, we got the spring back, we're pulling back. This could be bad. We're going into a bear market. Went all the way back down to 110 yesterday. Well, now we're back up to 114, pushing 115. So that goes, at least that tells me that there's a lot of people interested in the market. And by these altcoins coming back, it's not just Bitcoin coming back. By these altcoins coming back, and if you look at Ethereum went down to 3,200 during the dump. The dump. Now it's back up to 4,200. So like $1,000. Same with like, XRP, Cardano down to 40 cents or 35 cents, right back up. We're right back up to 70-cent Cardano. So to me, this is all extremely bullish that the altcoins are actually reviving along with Bitcoin. If it was just Bitcoin coming back and the altcoins weren't doing anything, you could say, well, the interest just isn't there. And who knows what's going to happen. But for me, this was a flash crash. I've seen them a million times. I've been involved in many, many flash crashes. They're never fun, always stressful no matter what, especially the flash crashes that I lived through earlier on back in 2018, 2019. I mean, some of those flash crashes, I was selling during the flash crash. I was selling my coins during the flash crash, which is the worst thing you can do, and then I'm buying back in 10 minutes later. Guys, I've been through it all. And the one thing I learned is that's not what you're supposed to do, no matter what. So obviously this flash crash I didn't sell. I actually bought some more Cardano. Not a lot, guys. I know I told you I was going to buy a lot more Cardano for a trade. I didn't buy. I only ended up buying like $1,000 worth because I was scared. I was a scared little boy. But I'm still going to make about almost $1,000 when I sell it at 70 cents. So that's not too bad, or $800 or whatever it is. But the fact is, even I was scared during this flash crash because you just don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. But the fact that we're coming back right now, and Trump has not even think about it. Think if tomorrow we get news. Okay, Trump and China are back in talks, and everything's fine. Bitcoin's going right back up to $125,000. Ethereum's going right back to all-time high. And another good thing about this dump is it reset the leverage. Everybody's been wiped out. All these YouTubers who were promoting all these shitty, scammy coins, they're all gone now. They've left the building. A lot of the people who are just in this for a quick buck, they're all gone. They're all liquidated. And now we can start fresh and go into the second phase of this bull market alt season, which quite honestly, this probably had to happen. Even though it was manipulated, I think all in all, it's good. It kind of clears. It's like a cleanse. It kind of clears the slate, and we can kind of start fresh and just work on this second phase of this alt season. Because, guys, for XRP to get back to $3, that can happen in an hour, and we all know it can. For Cardano to get back to 85, 90 cents, that can happen in a couple hours. We're pretty much right back there. It's just going to take a couple of days to get there. It really just depends on Bitcoin. Once Bitcoin's back up to like 116, 117, 118, all these altcoins are going to be right back to where they were before the dump. All right, guys, let me see if I'm missing anything here. No, I think that's pretty much it. I think tomorrow's Columbus Day. I don't know if the stock market might be closed tomorrow. I think it might be. But it doesn't really matter about the stock market. It just matters, is Trump going to work out a deal with China and put out a positive tweet? And that's kind of what we should be looking for this week. Oh, this article's from yesterday. So really CNBC, let me see if there's anything new. Yeah, there's nothing new. There's nothing new on Truth Social, and there's nothing new on CNBC. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. Like I said, anything positive at all regarding this whole China thing is going to take the stock market right back up and take the crypto market right back up. Now, like I said, I think the stock market is due for a major pullback. I think the stock market's due for recession. I think we're in a housing bubble. I think the bear market for crypto is right around the corner towards the end of the year. I think 2026 is going to be bad. I've been saying that for a long time. Actually, I want to play this one thing I saw. Let me play this.
Do you think that we will have a crash? We thought it was a good time to check in with Andrew Ross Sorkin, one of the country's most influential financial reporters. He's just written a book about the market crash a century ago. Are you scared?
I'm anxious that we are at prices that may not feel sustainable. We are either living through some kind of remarkable boom,
Or we're reliving
1929.
Yeah, and a lot of other big financial guys believe that as well. So, what I think is going to happen is, and I've been saying it for a while, I think the stock market's going to blow past all-time highs like it is. I think it's going to be extremely bullish going into the end of the year. And then I think early next year, the stock market's going to have a major, major recession crash that'll probably last about a year. And obviously, that's going to coincide with the exact time that Bitcoin, per the 4-year cycle, is due to go into a bear market. So you're going to have a bear market for crypto, and you're going to have a stock market bear market, which will probably coincide with lowering rates, which is going to help mortgages. So maybe more people will be able to get cheaper mortgages, and maybe it'll turn into a buyer's market for real estate, which is probably what's going to happen. So that's why my point is we really want to be out of these markets by the end of the year. So we just need Bitcoin and altcoins to do their thing. So we had a flash crash. Okay, we've seen them a million times. It's crypto. You're going to get flash crashes. And after every flash crash, half the people say we're going into a bear market, and half the people say it's over. Okay. But we're coming out of that flash crash now, and we're a couple of days later, and it looks like Bitcoin wants to recover. And Bitcoin's recovering, even though we don't have positive news on what even supposedly took us into this flash crash, which was the whole China thing with Trump. So once Trump comes out next week, puts out some positive news, we'll be right back to where we were, and that will give altcoins and Bitcoin the opportunity to pump back up, and hopefully we get that dollar Cardano, and yeah, guys, we just kind of go from there. But yeah, interesting times. I haven't been this interested in crypto in a long time. I mean, if crypto didn't have these flash crashes, I probably would have never even gotten to crypto. I need the adrenaline. It's fun. It's interesting. It keeps me on my toes. And we're back, baby. I'm just totally interested in crypto again because of this the craziness that's been going on for the last couple of weeks. So like and subscribe. Talk to you later.